Good evening. Tonight was the last of the Wolf movies. That was our main thing. But before that, of course, naturally, we watched a lot of other things. And actually, probably the most other things that we have watched. The first was, um, let's see if I can get the exact name of the first one, because it's a musical based on War of the Worlds, but it's a very specific musical based on the War of the Worlds. Jeff Wayne, yes, Jeff Wayne's musical version of the War of the Worlds, and it was that the Andrew Lloyd Webber's offering on the shows must go on this weekend, and I had no idea it existed. I knew that Adam Gettle had made some noise at one time about writing a stage musical version of The Invisible Man, and I knew that the Time Machine movie from 2002, I think it was. There's a joke about Andrew Lloyd Webber writing The Time Machine, the musical, and in my mind, I've imagined Julie Taymor doing The Island of Dr. Moreau, but I didn't realize that there actually was, in a way, a War of the Worlds musical, and it's interesting. It's not like a traditional musical. It's maybe more of a concept album. I've yet to research it, but I'm going to because it's available probably until I think tomorrow afternoon early. If you want to check it out on the shows must go on. After that, we put on Sweeney Todd to cook because what would be more appropriate. Um, and also, we're putting off watching Borat 2, so we had to get some Sacha Baron Cohen in this weekend, and he is great in that movie. He's only got two scenes, but they're two of the best scenes. After that, what did we do? We watched a movie called Witches in the Woods, and I don't recall there being any witches, but there was woods. And after that, we watched, and this is confusing, we watched the, the House on Haunted Hill, which is not The Haunting of Hill House, which means it's not the original movie that inspired the 1999 Liam Neeson movie, The Haunting, that I really like, but it's a Vincent Price movie, and it is in the public domain, and therefore I didn't feel like I was stealing it by watching it for free on YouTube. So you can watch that for free on YouTube. We watched a Vincent Price movie previously, but it was The Invisible Man Returns, and who knows if he was actually in it. But his voice was, but where was he? And so it was good to watch a full-length movie where we could see him. And probably when I'm done with this, we're going to continue with a Vincent Price movie from the same year, 1959, called The Bat. Got that ready to go, but just watched She-Wolf of London, and it's an interesting monster movie because it's more along the lines of The Woman in White. I got to be an hour or so in, and I'm like, we're not going to get to see her transform. Is it because if you have a woman in the center of the movie, she can't be made to look ugly, so we're not going to actually see her transform into a wolfman, especially after the last movie, and the transformation special effects have gotten so good, but it's not that kind of movie. It's a people will do extreme things for money kind of movie, rather like that Vincent Price movie, The House on Haunted Hill, not The Haunting of Hill House, The House on Haunted Hill. Yes. But great performances. It's probably the only movie, definitely the only movie in this set where the three main characters are women, and they are the most developed characters. We barely know or care about the male characters. There's a fourth female character who is not one of the main characters, but she is important to the plot, and so it's forgivable that none of them turned into hairy monsters. Uh, green monsters, certainly, but not hairy monsters. Um, and but the character who we are led to believe, and I don't know who any of these actors are, but the character who we are led to believe is the she-wolf of London. Um, she is she's like one of those actors with that look where you think, yes, there's an animal living in there. There's a frightened, probably dangerous animal living in there, and she was very good, and the others were very good as well. Um, Definitely a unique movie among this collection, and it's the last of the Wolf movies that will be watched from this disc. Again, as with Dracula, Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein is included in here because the Wolfman, I guess, appears in that movie, but it's got Frankenstein in the title, so I will be watching it from the Frankenstein disc, which means this movie, or this set, can go back in the box, or coffin, as it were. So, but maybe I did that too early. Tomorrow is Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, and it will be, to my knowledge, my first experience with Abbott and Costello, and it will, I suppose, wrap up the Dracula and werewolf, Wolfman storylines among the Universal Classic monsters, and I guess Frankenstein monsters storyline and the Frankenstein families as well. And I have no idea what to expect. But She-Wolf of London, definitely. Let's see, what other movies from these collections? I guess Invisible Agent is kind of a standout because in the other Invisible movies, or well, Invisible Woman more than Invisible Agent, just it's on its own. It's outside of the realm of it being a monster and more. Let's explore what we can do with this idea. Um, and yeah, so it was an interesting movie, good movie. I will enjoy repeat viewings, and yeah, again, I watched the thing. I'm thinking, why isn't she transforming? It's supposed to be a monster movie, but it turns out to be worth the wondering. It's a mystery, and it keeps you guessing, and it works really well. And then it ends abruptly, like most of these movies do, because they're all just over an hour. So they can't draw out the ending like Stephen King. So anyway, have a lovely midnight.